Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today, we're continuing this week's theme of Bryan's favorites, bands that I've enjoyed in the past on this channel that I'd like to revisit and see what they're doing. Mostly now, it seems. A lot of the stuff that we've checked out has been more recent stuff compared to some of the earlier things we've checked out. This time, we're listening to Thank You, Scientist. And overwhelmingly, we have people suggesting Son of a Serpent, with a couple of people saying I should check out the live version of it. We're going to go ahead and do the live one. Now, Thank You Scientist was a band that I loved everything they did, but for whatever reason, that specific song just didn't jive with me, just didn't line up. It was really weird because I really didn't have anything negative to say about this song. It just didn't hit me. So that's kind of a weird thing. It's quite an anomaly so far on the channel. So let's see what Thank You Scientist has on this one with Son of a Serpent. Yeah, starting out real funky. Love that bass line. Ooh! Very nice synergy between the horns and his vocals there. Let's open this up. Ooh. Yeah, the horns have an irregular phrasing there, but you really gotta listen to the cymbals and the drums for the beat. Take it down to a little bit of a halftime. Very cool line there for the two strings, violin and guitars. Oh, nice stings. Back to this rhythm, or this line. Love those little stops. Nice power in the vocals there. This is what I was asking for in the last song. Musical complexity under the singing. Excellent counterpoint going on here, especially with the two melody lines coalescing at times. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. I like how it changed from a jazz solo to a rock solo, and it's almost seamless. Yeah. Ooh. That third note when the singer came in, that hit some chills, man. Hit some chills. Smooth way to transition into this. Ah, man. I was hoping he was going to resolve that up. He has held it though. Is that a theremin? All right. Yeah, so that hit a lot better for me than the other track. The other one we listened to from Thank You Scientist was more of a, I almost want to say like prog ska. I am not centered. Almost like a prog ska kind of thing, where it was, to me, it seemed more heavily oriented into the rock aspects of their instrumentation. That sort of played around with some of the jazz ideas compositionally, whereas this one seems to be more of a jazz composition that plays around with some rock concepts. And I think this works for them a lot better. Um, One of the key criticisms I had for them last time around was that the complexity in the music, especially rhythmically, I think rhythmically is they have a lot of strength in writing rhythmically complex music. You can hear it in pretty much most of the more upbeat sections where the vocalist isn't singing, especially in the saxophone and trumpet. They'll have they'll have a riff, and it'll be just slightly out of time with the time signature, so the bars don't line up with the melodic phrasing, and it feels disjointed against the drum set. But it all lines back up after 4 or 8 bars, whatever repetition. Um, it lines back up on one with, and it fits because of that. You'll actually see that idea um, crop up so many times throughout this song. And I think that they have a lot of strength in writing rhythmic complexity. Now, we've talked about rhythmic complexity a lot on this channel, and I usually talk about it with rhythmic breakdowns or metal bands that have rhythmic ideas, and usually they'll completely eschew the melodic side for the rhythmic side. The riffs that they'll write are rhythmically complex but tend to stick to just 1 or 2 notes. And these guys actually don't get rid of the melodic aspect. They are rhythmically oriented riffs, but they're still moving around. There's still a shape to the music. And the range of notes that are played in the riffs are a lot wider than we have found recently in a lot of these metal bands that rely on rhythmic and intricate rhythmic sections for their breakdowns. So that's one thing that really, I think, kind of pulls them into that jazz section, almost sort of a bebop idea, where there's still a musicality to it in the melody, but it's highly rhythmic. And like I said, that shows up quite a few times, especially in the horn section. Um, However, though, they do have a very strong sense of melody, especially in the violin and vocalist. Their musical phrasing in both of them is sublime. It doesn't jump around too much. You can pretty much understand where each of the melodic lines are going. Once you listen to a few notes, you kind of figure out how it's going to end. It's nothing too surprising in their melodic writing, but that is okay because it's done to such a good. It's done so well that even though it is a bit more standard as far as some of their chord progressions and the way that they phrase their melodic lines, it's just done at such a high level that it doesn't matter that it's a little bit more predictable. However, that predictability also allows them to sweep the rug out on a few notes here and there where they kind of land somewhere where you don't expect them to, but it's so much better than if they had just done a standard chord progression. Um, there's that one note, I don't remember where it was. I remember saying like that third note there. If you want to go back and find me saying that line, that note hits hard. And it pierces through, and it's just such a good note for what's playing around it. So yeah, their predictability allows them to be unpredictable and have the unpredictability just cut through even more. Sort of what do we talk about a lot? Context and not necessarily dynamics. Although I guess you could make an argument for dynamic and chord ideas, maybe. But yeah, it definitely makes it hit home more because you're a bit relaxed and you kind of understand most of what's going on, especially once we reach the midpoint of the song. You kind of understand how the band chooses to phrase stuff. And then when they come out with stuff like that, it hits even harder because you're totally not expecting it. So yeah, really cool stuff though, both melodic and rhythmic. The rhythm section is just dirty. The bassist has some nasty bass lines. Absolutely love them. Um, the guitarist is just a beast. The drummer plays some really nice little fills. He mostly plays metronome. He does a real good job of just keeping the beat. But there are a couple of times that he lays down just a nice fill or transition. Um, and there's, I don't think I I don't think I called it out in the video. Um, but he does this nice little triplet, like three triplets in a row with a small break between them. I think it was on the closed hi hat, and it was against like some straight stuff being played in the guitar and violin, and just the triplet versus the straight. It just sounded so nice. I really should have called that out because that was a really clean little embellishment to the kit line. So yeah, love that. Um, the other thing that I really had negative to say about Thank You Scientist, the other criticism I had was that the guitar solo in the last song we checked out didn't really do it for me. I don't remember what the problem was. I'd have to go back and rewatch the video or re-listen to the song. This one though, this was good. I thought it did a fantastic job of carrying the melodic ideas that were present in the vocalist and kind of continuing his story musically and then adding his own little flair to it. And it did a good job of being tasteful while also showing off a little bit. And there's this cool little transition right in the middle of it where it shifted from what I would call a traditional jazz styled solo to more of a traditional rock style solo. And not necessarily like rock and roll, but like jazz rock. And that transition was just seamless, but also very noticeable. And that doesn't make any sense, but you got to trust me on this one. I don't know how many people catch it, or maybe they've heard the song a million times and never caught it until I pointed it out. But once you know it's there, you're like, okay, these are two separate ideas. You have your jazzy one and then your rock one. But also at the same time, even know that there's a stark break there where there's a bit of a difference in phrasing and performance style. The thing is that it still flows. It still works as one cohesive idea, which is just phenomenal. Like I don't understand how they did that. To me, it's either noticeable or not noticeable. It either is disjointed or it's connected, and this is both simultaneously, and that just makes no sense to me. But I love it for doing it. Um, yeah, just really good stuff all around. I like how they sort of segment and compartmentalize their sections to do different things. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I've slowly been picking this up as I've been breaking down each of the different musical sections, but the horns tend to bring out the musical complexity. The violins tend to provide or the violin tends to provide counterpoint or harmony to the vocalist. The vocalist leads the story in the overarching kind of like musical ideas that push the song from beginning to end. And the rhythm section just they're like the invisible foundation for everything, but it's a complex foundation. Like you can very easily forget they exist other than the guitar solo. They very rarely call attention to themselves. They do a great job of buttressing the horns, violin, and singer to kind of do their thing. And those instruments share the spotlight while the rhythm section sits in the background. But if you pay attention to what they're doing, a lot of it is really cool stuff. Like I said, the bass line, even at the beginning, right off the bat, just coming in and laying down this real nice bass work, real nice finger work. I really wish they had focused in on the bass during that line because I would be really amazed to see what was happening. But it sounds really nice. Um, and then the guitarist, just everything, man. but it's real cool how they compartmentalize all these ideas. I don't know if that is something they always do. I think it would kind of, I would not like it as a performer to be pigeonholed into a concept. Um, I like playing melodic lines. I like playing, rhythmic, foundational stuff. I like having the spotlight. I like sharing the spotlight. I like playing rhythmic ideas and melodic ideas. Um, you want me to play some staccato stuff? I'm digging that, but I also want some legato stuff in there too. I don't like being pigeonholed into an idea. Um, and it works really well for this song, and pretty much any song it would work good for. But I think as a performer and possibly even a listener, to listen to several songs or play several songs in a row, I would want a little bit of variety. So I don't know how that works. This is only one track from them, and I don't really remember noticing this pattern in the last song we checked out, so I'd have to go back and kind of double check and see what's going on there. But yeah, like I said, it works really well in here to kind of compartmentalize the sections to be different parts, different cogs in the machine. And that concept works really well for this track, and it would work in other tracks as well, as long as the gears got to be swapped out, if that makes any sense. Keep the same ideas. Harmony and counterpoint over here, and rhythm over here, and lead and rhythmic concepts up here, rhythmic complexity, but swap out which instruments are in each group. So I think that'd be really cool. I definitely need to check out more of these guys. This song had a much bigger impact on me than the last one. This is a band that I definitely need to check out more. However, I like their approach to this song more, and I hope they stick with this. Like I said, I view this song as more of a jazz song, jazz composition with some rock influence, whereas their last track, I kind of remember being more ska based with like some prog ska with some jazz influences, and I think this one just works a whole lot better for them. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Thank You Scientist, son of serpent, son of a serpent, son of the serpent. I don't know. There's a sun, there's a serpent. Uh, so yeah, you guys can hit me up though in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this song, and yeah, while you're down there, you can do the stuff. I'm blanking out. Thumbs up, subscribe, the bell. Those three things help me out a lot with the channel. And you can also check out my Twitter and my Patreon. Those links are in the description. And I will be back tomorrow to finish out this week with the Bryan's Favorites theme. And that'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, as usual. And until then, you guys have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening. And stay safe out there.